be mine. Oh, Mary, Mary, wanna be with you.
It's topical, okay?
This is what I'm gonna do. I wanna put it all to you. 'Cause I feel good tonight. And everything's gonna be right, 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 yeah. I'm gonna have a good time tonight. Rock and roll music gonna play all night. Come on, baby, it won't take long. Only take a minute just to sing my song. Everybody in the road is gonna be with him. I said, loud, tall Sally's gonna be with Slim.
But y'all know about it in excess. Come on now. Now, if you're going to talk about the 80s, you got to just include some NXS. And part of the success of NXS now. Anyway, this is a soundtrack thing. Anyway, what do we got going on here, guys? How the fuck are you? How are you? How you doing? '80s action adventure films. Now, I want to kind of like prelude this with, I kind of, mix and matched a little bit just because, not mix and matched, but there's definitely going to be like probably one or two movies in here that probably belong in another genre, but they also belong in this one as well. So, there you have it. If a movie is good enough to cross genres, then it deserves to be on 2 top 10 lists probably. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. So this is action adventure from the 80s. I don't know what to say other than I don't know. Hang on. Give me a second. I got power issues going on here. Power issues galore. There we go. Why don't we just get on with it already? All right, because I got to kind of run through this just because I've got questions that people ask questions, and you know what? There wasn't that many people that asked questions this time around, but the quality of questions, very intriguing. No, they were good. I don't know what to say. Anyway, top 10, and yeah, I guess we're gonna say that these are in order. I mean, what I wanted to do though is I didn't want to hog it up. Like I could very have easily just said, okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger has 3 through whatever. You know what I mean? I kind of tried to pick my favorite movie of that particular action star's, whatever, because, some action stars, Sylvester Stallone, and, which, by the way, curiously enough, didn't make the list. Oh, no, yeah, you did. Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, these people are synonymous. Van Damme and Seagal, all these people are, they've made multiple films in the 80s, and I just wanted to kind of like pluck the best one out of theirs and put it in there. I didn't want to put, well, I like this movie better than this movie, and then just kind of have like a couple of movies with the same actor, although one person did get a repeat performance, and you'll see who it is in a minute. Anyway, let's start with number 10. Number 10, I put Bloodsport, and that's for Jean-Claude Van Damme. Of course, he made Kickboxer. That was probably a lot of people's favorites, and double the Van Dammage. Double Impact and Time Cop, all sorts of other things. Cyborg, you can't forget about Cyborg as well. But anyway, so yeah, of course he belongs on the list. He was part of that genre of action movies that he made a whole shitload of them and piled them at us in the 80s. He was like almost like in competition with Steven Seagal at the time, That's what it seemed like. It seemed like every time Steven Seagal put out one of his 3-word movies. You ever notice that it's always our march for death, out for justice, above the law. There's more. And they narrowed it down to 2 for Under Siege. But whatever. Moving on. You know what? This one, I almost kicked Bloodsport out to put Eddie Murphy twice, but I didn't. But 48 Hours was my original pick for the number 9 spot. But 48 Hours is going to share it with Beverly Hills Cop because I really enjoyed that movie. And I didn't think I was going to. Thought it was just going to be another cheesy, comedy Eddie Murphy style movie. But it actually wound up being pretty good and funny, But of course it was funny. It was Eddie Murphy in his prime. All right. Number 8. I'm putting on Lethal Weapon, damn it. I don't care about his questionable whatever he does off the screen. You know, back in the day, we had no idea what these directors were doing, so we could just enjoy their movies, unbeknownst to the fact that whatever some of these people were like going to like secret meetings of the skulls or something like that, and we would have never been the wiser. But we know everything about everybody now, so. So back in the day, I was able to enjoy Lethal Weapon 1 and 2. I liked all the Lethal Weapon movies, to be honest with you. 1 and 2 were the only ones that made the cut inside 1980. But so I'm putting Lethal Weapon at number 8. Number 7. Well, number 7 we got Roadhouse. Roadhouse. What else you got to say? Roadhouse. What else is there to say? There's nothing to say about it other than the double douche. Favorite part of the movie. But yeah, dude, I thought he'd be bigger. Come on now. You gotta love Roadhouse. Number 6. Number 6, I put Die Hard. Yeah, you see, when I went and saw Die Hard in the movie theater, that was another one of those movies where I walked into it knowing it was a Bruce Willis movie. When he was on Moonlighting at the time, was really all he was known for. He wasn't known for much else. I think he had made one other movie. That was his start. That was the beginning of his action adventure genre freaking career. And he launched an entire thing of it. So yeah, seeing that building and that blow up at the end was like fucking holy shit. I was like, wow, these guys are going hard. But yeah, I don't remember walking out of a movie theater before then being like, wow, I was like just really freaking jazzed about getting out of an action adventure movie. It was really awesome. I mean, there were other movies that had other qualities and everything like that. We'll get to that in a minute. If it was the best movie I'd ever seen as far as an action movie, that would be number 1, but it's not. Number 6. Number 5, I think I switched 5 and 3. What do we got here? Yeah, 5. All right. So number 5, I am putting. Number 5, I'm putting First Blood. The OG that started the whole Rambo series, blah, 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 blah. That wasn't just a quality movie as well, it wasn't just, shoot 'em up and action and everything like that. It was a decent story, So yeah, First Blood back in the day when I saw that movie, I was like in tears at the end when they were like, it's a long road when you're on your own. But whatever. Anyway, number 4. Steven Seagal comes in at number 4 with Marked for Death. Other people may have liked other movies of his better. They probably thought Under Siege was a better movie or anything like that. Marked for Death was my favorite Seagal movie. Buffalo Law was decent, Hard to Kill was hard to kill. I had Kelly Brock in it, so that was all right. Out for Justice was decent, a little bit over the top with the New York accents, if you ask me, in that movie. But still some good scenes in that movie. But Marked for Death, with the Jamaicans, come on now. That was the stuff right there. That was Steven Seagal's The Swan Song. But whatever. All right. Number 3, I got Predator. Even though it's a sci-fi movie, it still qualifies as action adventure because the first half of the movie was a shoot 'em up, army kind of style, whatever. So yeah, Predator makes the list on that one. Number 2. Well, I can't believe number 2 got beat. I can't believe number 2 got beat by anything. Raiders of the Lost Ark, probably one of the best action adventure movies ever made. What else can you say about that movie? There's nothing to say about it. It speaks for itself. Harrison Ford was great. It was an epic adventure. It was an epic, long battle. You just can't say enough about Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was a very, very well done movie. Everything about it was great. It's an action sequence that probably sticks out the most is when he rides down the horse. He rides the horse down the hill and he starts chasing the Nazis after the Ark. That scene right there. I mean, after you had already seen an abundance of really awesome action up until that point, that scene right there was pretty much like, okay, this guy is balls deep on everything. Fucking love fucking Indiana Jones. Love Indiana Jones. How can you not? Anyway, before I get into the number 1, I do have a couple of honorable mentions. I'm going to throw Tango and Cash out there. Black Rain, a movie that not well known, but it was a Um, I'm pretty sure there was a. Oh yeah, it was Michael Douglas and Anthony Garcia when he was very very young. Um, Aliens, I didn't put Aliens on there because that's me. It's definitely an action adventure movie, but it's sci-fi, so I consider it more sci-fi than anything. I didn't include Days of Thunder. It's a racing movie. It's not so much action adventure. So Days of Thunder wasn't in there, but that's another one from the whatever. Escape from New York, kind of considered that one sci-fi too. RoboCop considered sci-fi. Didn't include any of the Rockies, basically for the same reason I didn't include Days of Thunder, because it's kind of a sports flick. It's kind of a sports movie. So if I ever do a top 10 sporting movies, then we'll talk about Days of Thunder and we'll talk about Rocky and other things. I didn't put Karate Kid in there. That was more of a drama, I would say, drama / comedy than it was an action adventure, because there really wasn't, it wasn't like, it wasn't an action. I don't think you can qualify an action adventure like that. But for some reason, it just didn't have the feel of an action adventure. It was more like, Tommy at school is having, it's like an afternoon special, sported up and everything. Not to say that it wasn't a good movie, of course. I loved Karate Kid. But, anything else? Cyborg, I guess I could throw out there too, whatever. And I didn't include any of the Bond movies, because you know what, they should be done on their own. Not that they're not action adventure movies, they aren't, but there are enough Bond movies that they warrant their own top 10. So at some point or another, I will get around to ranking the Bond movies, and I have seen every single one of them at least twice. What else? Number one. I got to go back to number one, right? What's my favorite of all time? My favorite action adventure movie of all time. What could it be? Well, this is kind of might be like throw you guys for a little bit of a loop, just because it might not be completely classified as this could actually, believe it or not, this is a CBM. It is. It's Conan the Barbarian. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger with all of my heart, and Conan the Barbarian is just my favorite tale of revenge that I just adore watching it. Everything about it is very artsy, and I don't know. There's something very about it. It's just from the opening. But yeah, no, I just love that movie. What can I say? Yeah, man, dude, it was like, this big when his parents got killed, and he held that grudge for a very, very long period of time. He really, really did. Anyway, we got questions, and I got to run through them real quick because, so that's my list. I don't know, it's definitely it's a comic book movie. It's not, so therefore might not be able to be considered an action adventure, but there could be debates on it. But it's my list, so I get to put Conan at the top of it. All right, that's all I got to say about that. Questions, Old Man Winters. What do you want to know? What do I think about the new Alien flicks? I'm looking for the deals, but I'm disappointed with. I'm looking forward to Neil's, but I'm disappointed with. I'm disappointed with Ridley Scott for telling Neil to back off his movies, because I really wanted to see those ahead of his other ones. I think Ridley Scott, please listen to everything I say, because hats off to Neil for actually respecting him, because Neil's a big fan of the original, so he's like, okay, really, you know what, for you, I'm going to, go ahead and just back off for a little bit. I'm going to make my movie, but let you do your thing first. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, so far, it seems like Ridley is freaking Lucasing the shit out of this, and I'm pretty sure I've said this before. It just seems like he's ruining his own franchise, and I just hope I don't know. I hope he can kind of turn it around and save it a little bit. That's all I have to say about that, anyway. Patrick Ford wanted to know besto. He wanted to know which one was the best Van Damme movie. Best Jean-Claude Van Damme movie of the 1980s. I don't know. Time Cop? Or was Time Cop in the 90s? Time Cop might have been in the 90s. I would say Cyborg. I don't know. I did. Bloodsport made the list, but that's because that's kind of like an emotional favorite for me. It was like one of the first ones that I saw. But I don't know if it's not Time. If Time Cop was made in the 1990s, then I'll say Cyborg, because because, you know, it's a sci-fi thing. It's a sci-fi thing. Sci-fi thing, right? Patrick Ford also wants to know the hottest female actress from the 80s. I don't know if it's film. I'm going to say Marissa Tomei. Gotta say, Marissa Tomei, back in the day. Look at all this rhyming I'm doing. You know, come on. Who didn't watch My Cousin Vinny back in the day and say, damn, she's so hot. She is freaking adorable. And she's funny to boot. So, you know, those two things go together really, really well. For TV, I'm saying Heather Thomas, Fall Guy. You don't know who she is. I'll find a picture of her. I had a picture of her on my wall through, for a long period of time. All right. Ghosty wants to know best 80s montage or soundtrack. He said montage / soundtrack. If it's montage, it's going to be, you're the best around. Nothing's going to ever bring you down. You know what I'm saying? But if it's the soundtrack, I'm actually listening to it right now. It's the Lost Boys. I think the Lost Boys had a nice wide array of whatever. There's probably a better one out there. But right off the top of my head, I'm thinking Lost Boys. It's not off the top of my head. I thought about it. But yeah, Lost Boys soundtrack. Come on, guys. Listen to this. What do we got here? Cry, Little Sister. Come on. You guys all know it. But whatever. Anyway, and then Joe. Joe wanted to know who the best porn star was. I don't know. Gingerland. I patiently... oh, no. Christy Canyon. Christy Canyon for sure. For her. That's a whore. But anyway, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. I've already run up this up to like 17 minutes or so. I got nothing else for you, so I've officially run the course of this video, and I'm going to upload it for you all shortly. Peace. Oh, yeah. Forgot. I gotta tell you guys to be good to yourself and be good to yourself. Whatever. Cheers. Do something good for yourself. Do something good for somebody else, and also have a good Thanksgiving. Everybody, be safe too. Peace.